The engineered castle is set in pleasant gardens with its northern facade overlooking in the summer garden. It's square in plan and has a central octagonal courtyard. Each facade of its summer building is different. Pink marble columns dominate the north front. The west and east facades have arch-shaped base. The west facade is crowned about its base with a golden dome on the palace church. The main facade to the south is decorated with a bas-relief depicting the glory of Russia as well as with the imperial coat of arms. It's not by mere chance that the engineered castle has more veneer of the medieval fortress than a palace. The intention of Paul I, Catherine the Great's son, was precisely to create a refuge safe from his enemies. He claimed that Archangel Mikhail appeared to him in a dream, telling him to build a palace and a church dedicated to Saint Paul's as the birthplace. To the summer palace which stood on the site was pulled down in the Mikhailovsky Castle Commission. The general design was by Bajenov, but between 1797 and 1800, Brenner supervised work on the building, which was much more fortress-like than today. To the north and east, the Fontanka and the Moika rivers provided protection from possible intrusions, while moats, since filled in, guarded in the palace on the north and the west.
Nevertheless, Paul's fortress failed to give him the security he sought, and he was unable to enjoy it for long. For in March 1801, he was murdered in the bedroom. Afterwards, no one member of the imperial family wanted to live there, and it remained empty for many years. Following extensive restoration, the Military Engineering Academy was set up in the huge building in 1823, and it survived the name by which it was later known, Engineer.
At the south entrance stands an equestrian statue of Peter the Great, which is rather more conventional than the bronze horseman. Cast between 1745 and 1747, during the reign of the Empress Elizabeth, it was only much later than Paul I decided to erect it. The inscription on to a great-grandfather to a great-grandson, 1800, recalls a similar inscription on the bronze.
And now we go to the summer garden.
Across the Lebyaja Kanavka canal is the same famous summer garden. Its favorite haunt of Alexander Pushkin. The garden dates back to the early 1704, almost to the foundation of the city, and it's the finest St. Petersburg almost to the way of a ruminative and romantic stroll. The summer garden on the left bank of the Neva, opposite to the Peter and Paul's Cathedral, was laid out on Peter's the Great instructions shortly after the foundation of the city. A summer palace and some smaller pavilions were built within the extensive
Originally, the park was much bigger than it's today, stretching as far as Nevsky Prospect. Dances were held here on summer evenings, and military victories and other ceremonial occasions were celebrated with firework displays. Peter the Great, Sachesus, however, preferred the summer palaces outside St. Petersburg, and parts of the garden soon fell victim to the demands of the fast-growing imperial metropolis.
Behind me is the summer garden railing. A delicate iron-cast railing separated the park from the public walk or the palace embankment. Was installed between 1771 and 1784 to a design George von Felten. The grille is suspended between 36 granite columns crowned with urns and vases. The poet Anna Akhmatova, among others, considers the grille to be a pinnacle of art casting and one of the symbols of St. Petersburg. And now we are standing on Dekabristov Square. First called Senatska, the square was renamed earlier this century. It holds one of the St. Peter's best-known landmarks, the gigantic equestrian statue of Peter the Great. The square took its new name from the dramatic events that unfolded there on December the 14th in 1825, when following the death of Tsar Alexander I, a group of aristocrats staged a rebellion on the square in an attempt to prevent the crowning of Nicholas I as the new Tsar, and perhaps do away with the monarchy altogether. Their hope failed miserably, as it was bloodily suppressed by troops already loyal to Nicholas, and those rebels who were not executed were banished to Siberia. Although the Zesem priests, as they came to be known, did not bring a significant change to Russia in the time. Their attempts at rebellion, liberal reform were often cited by the Soviet regime as proof of deep-rooted revolutionary faith in Russian society. In 1925, the square was renamed to the honor, Dekabrist Square. In the center is the grand statue called the Medley Vsadi, erected as a memorial for the death of Peter the Great. Created by the French sculptor, its his student Maria Colombo laurel wreath, astride a rearing horse that symbolizes Russia, representing the force of heaven. The enormous granite rock on which the statue is balanced come from the Gulf of England. Reportedly, Peter liked to stand on the survey his city from afar, moving as it was the Hercule required a special badge and the machines and nearly a year work. The statue was immortalized and poem in the same name by Alexander Pushkin. Connected by a triumphal arch, the Synod and Synod occupy the whole length of west side of the square. Erected between 1829 and 1834, the ochre and white buildings were color rosy rust cement, housing the Empire's two most powerful bodies of state and church founded by Peter the Great. Each of the rectangular three-storied buildings is embellished with the loggia of 8 Corinthian columns, while 4 pairs of columns flank the triumphal arches.